Welcome to Nature's Glory Cabin Off-Road. We have another edition in the Full Trail series. This will be the 13th one. We're featuring Clifton Road. This is part of the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway, and it's on the north side of Menifee County. We also have live trail narration as we usually do, and some extra bonus added video. Hope everybody enjoys this. Enjoy. Welcome to another Full Trail edition of Nature's Glory Cabin. Today, in this particular edition, we are doing Clifton Road. You've probably seen Clifton Road and a bunch of our others. It's part of the Backcountry Byway. We like it a lot. It's very scenic. Has some waterfalls and things at the very beginning. So we're going to drive on down through, and we're going to show you our Clifton Road. You get on Clifton Road off of 1274, which is Old Beaver Creek Road outside of Frenchburg. It's all the way out to that road, and you drive blacktop back maybe a mile and a half, and then it runs directly into the trail where you saw us when we first started there a few seconds ago. We're going to introduce you to Clifton Road, the Full Trail edition. Hope everybody enjoys this. We'll talk some more as we get going. Right here at the beginning of Clifton, not very far into it, is nice little waterfalls. Right now the water's not running quite as much, but this is a fairly deep pool right here at the beginning. You're probably going to want to get to the middle and ease through this, because this pool here can be pretty deep. It's probably up over my rock sliders right now. And then just ease into it and climb right up it. There's 3 of these. This is the biggest one here at the beginning. Just ease up them. You should have no trouble with them. This was a pretty easy trail too. This is about a 2.5 or so trail. Should be able to do this at about 33-inch tire and mostly stock height. Should be able to do this one. There's a couple of spots in it that'll be a little tougher for lower clearance. There's some ruts at the other end that you may hang up on with smaller tires. You just have to get some momentum to get through them. Dry, they shouldn't be a problem like it is today. So we will talk about all that stuff as we get to it. We've just cleared the 3 little waterfalls. Sign for DBBB on the tree right there. We continue on through here. A little bit of a washout right here. This is a drain for the creek. We have already shifted into low range. We are already aired down to 11 pounds on our 37-inch load range E tires, and we've disconnected the sway bar. Sometimes I don't always think to mention it, but hopefully when you get to the end, you go ahead and get back in 2-wheel high and reconnect everything back to normal. Sometimes I forget to mention that at the end. This is another one of our favorites. This is nice and scenic back through here. Lots of creek, a lot of things to see. We're going to run across a beaver dam up here in a little bit. The beavers have been busy. pretty easy trail, nothing real hard. Got a couple of spots in it. It's going to be harder than others. We'll talk about those when we get to them. For the most part, stock off-road, four-wheel drive with a low range should be able to do this without too much difficulty. Of course, the more stock you are and the smaller your tires are, the harder it will be to do. I would probably say a 33-inch tire would probably be the best upgrade for this. You can do it on smaller tires, but it'll be more work for you. Now we're climbing over a little pipe there, a couple little ruts here and there. Long vehicles and smaller tires will cause you to drag in places that shorter vehicles won't have as much trouble, but the wheelbase can be a thing that's good or bad. I mean, it works both ways. That was a little 10-degree hill we just went up. As we drop over this hill, there's a rock right in the middle, and you're going to want to try to put your tire on top of it, especially if you have a smaller tires. You don't want your differential to get caught up on this rock. We're getting ready to go over it right now. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it sticks up right smack in the middle when you get ready to go over this hill. And we went right over it. We put our tires on it. Now, if you got a real wide vehicle, you might have more trouble with that. This JL is fairly wide. It's wider than our TJs, but I don't know if it's as wide as the Broncos. I think the Broncos may be a little wider, so I'm told. Now there's a washout here on the left, and unfortunately you're going to need to go in this rut on the right to stay out of it. So you're going to run this rut, and you may have to give it a little power to get through it. It did fine with us on these big mud tires. So again, your mileage may vary based on your equipment. There's a little hole here. You can go around it probably on the left if you want to. I'm just going to go on and go through it. I usually do that to kind of show you the worst of the worst. So you can decide if you think you want to try it. It's not that deep. There's a little rut up here in the middle that the little TJ couldn't quite span it on both sides. But this JL might. It's a little wider, so we're going to try to straddle right over this rut. I felt the left front wheel drop in a little bit. Otherwise than that, just straddled right over. Right there is the beaver dam. It's got the water dammed up pretty good here. You can see up in here places where they have actually cut trees off, and they're pretty efficient at it. Most of these trees you see down here are from the beavers. I haven't seen the beavers personally, but the evidence is strong that they are here. Another culvert here, kind of keep an eye on it. It may wash out more over time. Over time's the thing. I'm trying to post these as fast as I can so they look like current conditions. Some other videos are several months behind, so the conditions change before you probably get the videos, before I get the videos out. We have a couple of rocky hill climbs we're going to do. There's a mud hole here that's usually bigger than this, and there's a bypass around it. You don't have to go in it. We're running along the creek here still. We're going to cross it, man, one or two more times, and then we're going to start climbing rocky hills. Lots of beautiful scenery back in here. Enjoy it. Take it easy and enjoy it. Now we're getting ready to cross the creek here. This water can be fairly deep here. I say deep, maybe a foot, but it's a steep entry. So depending on your vehicle, it might give you trouble with your front bumper. And we're going to climb out of this and meet up with the creek on the other side. There's a tree hanging down here that may cause you trouble if you have like a rooftop tent or something. Somebody may get up there and cut a limb or two off of it. I don't know. It's probably I don't know, at least a foot higher than we are. This nice little creek here on the left, when the light hits it just right, it's got green rocks in it, and when the waterfalls are going over it. Rocks are kind of dirty and dry right now. I assume the green is copper. That may or may not be the case. There's a pretty good system of trails over here on the north side in Menifee County, and depending on how you arrange them, you can go off of one right onto another one, and several of them are fairly close together. The ones that are close together are Johnson Branch, Wayne Benson, County Park, and Clifton Road that we're on now. All of those are real close together. We're going to cross the creek another time here, and then we're going to start climbing up the hills. Big root ball here. You have to pay attention to that. You don't want to run that down the side of your vehicle. This is probably, I don't know, it might be a little harder than a Spas Creek because of the rocks we're going to climb. We'll see those. There's got some ledges in it. Be careful and don't get too close to the edge of the creek. The edge of the creek could fall and give way. I've seen it happen, and your vehicle flip over, and it ain't fun and it ain't pretty. Kind of go close to this big rock here as you go around it. As soon as you get past it, there's a pipe going across through here, and the left end of it is kind of jagged. Do not put your tire on the outside of it. Just go over the meat of the pipe, because you do not want to slice a tire on that. That will ruin your day. And we are approaching the first rocky hill that we're going to climb. This one is probably the tougher of the two, but it's shorter also. Alright, here we go. I'm going to climb this first rocky hill. It's relatively challenging. It's a little steep. Got a whole bunch of bigger rocks. Not a big long climb, but again, like I always say, put your tire on the biggest rock so you can carry over it and you don't end up hanging up on an axle tube or something. So there's a big rock here on the left. Going to put my left tire right on top of it. It's going to crawl right up this at 1 or 2 miles an hour. Take it easy. And this other little bit bigger one up here, I'm going to go a little bit higher on it. And then I'm going to put my tires in the V-notch of this one. There's a dugout on the right side where people have been spinning tires. I shouldn't have any trouble. And this whole big clump of white rocks that you saw as we approached it, we've got to get to the left and get our right tires on top of those so we don't hang up underneath the vehicle with them. So once you cross off those, there's a ditch here. And we're going to get on up here out of the way. Now that we have climbed the little climb, we're going to just do a little trail here till we get to the next one. Awful dry today, so we're not dealing with any mud or slick spots. This is a pretty easy trail anyway. I think the next thing we got coming up is a real sharp dog leg with a metal culvert in it. That might be what's next. But we still got some trail in between here first. Nice scenic trail. Don't forget all the rules. Pack out what you pack in. Try to carry more out if you find it, if you can. Keep the vehicle in front of you in sight, the vehicle behind you in sight. If for some reason you can't, slow down or stop. Get on the radio. Let everybody know what's going on. Tread lightly. Try not to be that guy that spins and digs a hole out. Or girl, whoever happens to be driving. Try not to be that person. Alright, here we're coming into a real sharp right-hand dog leg uphill. It's got a culvert that's in the middle of it that's kind of messed up. So you got to be careful going across it. You want to go as deep into it as you can before you start turning up the hill. And then turn up the hill and try to keep your right side tires on the meat of the culvert and go right up it. Shorter vehicles will definitely have an easier time of this. Longer vehicles may, like Gladiators and such, I've seen the rear bumpers hit the ground there. So more tire, more clearance if you're longer. So, always the same rules. It's just laws of physics, nothing you can get around that. We're in this little short two-door JL Rubicon Wrangler, and it's got good entry and approach exit angles and everything else. Lots of ground clearance and not much in between the tires. So sometimes it makes it look easy because it's got all that going for it. So just got to realize what you're driving, you mileage may vary. Yeah, we're running along here about 5 miles an hour now. You know, can't go much faster. Still a little rocky, throw you around. Hey, it's an off-road trail. You're supposed to go slow and enjoy the scenery. There's a log sticking out into the road a little bit back there. You can see it now with the trees all starting to lose their leaves, but in the spring it kind of hides it and grows over it. And doesn't hurt anything, but you might bump it with your left side tires. Now we're approaching the next big rocky climb. This one's got a turn in it as you go up the hill. And we start the second rocky hill climb. It's got a look, this isn't too much right here at the very beginning, but it turns into a much heavier climb at the top of it, going up the top of the hill. So we're going to get situated here and like I said, try to put your tire on the biggest rock like usual to go over things. This one's a little slicker when you hit that second set of rocks about where my wife's sitting. So once I get to those, it's going to be a little bit tougher. As we make this hill, there is a rock to the, you probably saw it as I pulled up, but I tend to slide off of it. So I'm gonna go far right, try to go over this other bigger rock and kind of go over top of it, because usually I slide off that other one. All right, that was a much better way up. And for the most part, you want to stay through the middle. There's a lot of loose rocks on this, so just kind of pick your way through it and ease up it. You might be throwing some loose rocks. Again, right down the middle seems to be the best. There's a big rock up at the end. You can probably see it right there now. We're going to go to the right a little bit and kind of where she's standing, and then I'm going to go left across the other part of the rock to kind of crawl up it, just like that. And we have made it to the top. There are some more rocky ledges up here. I don't get any extra footage, but you can see one right there. There's several of them. We've just climbed the last rocky hill, but we still have a few ledges to climb here. This was probably 15, 18 inches high, and it's crooked. You go over at an angle, throw you off camber a little bit. But they're sandstone, you shouldn't have any trouble with them. We've got another one here, about the same height. And then we're going to climb right on up. Pretty much solid rock, just a little bit further. Again, I'm aired down real good. These tires are grabbing really well. And up here at the top of the little corner, they call it the waterfall, but it probably doesn't have any water coming off of it, or the cave. The locals have done a little graffiti and such. Another rock here on the left we're going to go over. This is a spot when we're on a ride. We usually stop here, a big photo op for everybody to get a picture of their vehicle here under the cave. And like everybody else, we stopped, took a quick photo, and head on down the trail. As around this corner, there's another little rock outcropping that we're going to have to go over. A little off camber, go over it at a little bit of an angle, so it's kind of a strange feeling if you're not used to it. Just stay away from the edge. About 17 degrees off camber. And you can see in front of us that little rut right there, and when it's wet, that could be a little more of a challenge. Today we can ride the tops of it and don't have to get down in it. When it's slick, sometimes it just pulls you down in and there's nothing you can do about it. Something as simple as that can cause you to have to winch out of a hole. Lucky around here, we've got lots of trees to winch to. Coming up on a little rut here right before we get to a culvert. Now we got a pretty good rut downhill here, and I've seen people try to stay out of it. For the most part, you don't have much of a choice. It's going to pull you right into it, especially when it's wet and slimy. So I'm just going to go right into it and just ride it on down. If you have lesser clearance, you'll probably drag, but it's so steep. I'm looking at 20 degrees down. So this is where having your tires stick out the side a little bit, keep your body off the mud, comes in handy. And right down here is the culvert we have to traverse. It's got a drop-off washout on the right and a sharp end of the culvert on the left. So you got to be careful going it and stay as far left as you can without slipping off of it, because if you slip off of it, you will slide. As we go over this culvert, I'm hanging my head out. You may not hear me as well, but I'm trying to get as far left as I can, because there's a drop off on the other side without running off the culvert, because if you run off the culvert, you'll slice a tire. I've seen it done several times. So you don't want to fall off the culvert, but you want to be as far left as you can. I can feel my rear end falling in that hole. And we're going to head up the ruts now. Because there's a drop off on the other side without running off the culvert. Because if you run off the culvert, you'll slice a tire. I've seen it done several times. So you don't want to fall off the culvert. You want to fall left as you can. These muddy ruts here, today they're not very muddy. Things have been pretty dry, so you can actually get around them and ride the tops a little better now because they're good and dry. When it's wet, what I'm going to try and do here, I'm going to try to put my right side tires on the right side over here and ride this. You can't do this when it's wet. It just sucks you right back down in there. So this is something you can't do. Oh, there we go. It pulled me down in. And if you got lesser clearance, you may have to give it some power to get through here, because you're on smaller tires. That rut is going to probably drag your differentials and give you some trouble there. So you got to be prepared for that. So I guess I'd rate this about a 3 because of the obstacles in here. That's I guess that's a fair rating. A 3 would be. See if I try to ride the tops. Again, here's another rut pulling me down in it. So you don't get a lot of control. It's pretty dry today. So on this left side here, I can put my left side tires. You can see where other people have done it. We'll ride up here a little ways and stay out of the rut. I'm not using any lockers or anything, just in 4-wheel drive with my big heavy 37-inch mud tire. So you should be able to do this in 33s, but again, your ground clearance through the ruts is where you might have a little problem. We're climbing a few rocks here, and we are almost done with this trail. There's a little shelf right there that's been dug out, so I'm gonna go left of it, climb out of it a little easier. Pick yourself a better place. If there's a spot that looks like somebody's dug it out, try to get your tire in a different spot. Try not to dig out the spot, because when you start digging it out, it just creates problems for everybody. If you have to, pull a winch line. Ain't no shame in that. Just get over the spot and then move on. It happens. Oh! Uh-oh. That's our spot. Yes. And we just hit a spot again that we'd hit once before, off on the edge of the trail. So gotta watch out. I didn't see it again. Right close there, there's a little washout on the side. We pulled ourselves out of it pretty easy, but you may not be able to. So watch out. That washout's a little hidden. It's off to the side with a little brush around it. That's the second time we've hit it in about 2 years. Better you see it here than you see it on you. We're going to finish up this hill here. There's a couple of rocks in it, and again, it's dry, so there's not much to worry about here. I'm going to run this little edge, and if it's rut, I'm going to have to get off of it because there's a tree down. So, and you can get back up on top, stay flat if you want to, or you can run off camber. This isn't that big of a deal. I usually run real close to this left side. Again, you're going to get some scratches off this brush and stuff, but I like running over here to this side. There's a big rock here. When you climb up, you're going to need to put your tire on it to get over it. Just ease up and over it. Can't be afraid of little scratches, because you just can't avoid them. And there's another big rock here, the same thing. Now these ruts right here can be pretty treacherous when they're wet. This hang up a lot of people even on 35s because it's fairly deep. I'm going to try to run up this left side because it's pretty deep, and your rear ends will catch. Pulled me down in it. We had folks with us on 35s in a Rubicon, got their differential stuck there, and had to back up and hit it a little harder. So just be warned, it's dry today. Hope everybody's enjoyed this. That is the end of Clifton Road. We are approaching 1274 Kendrick Ridge Road, and you make a right here and go all the way out to 460, and you can go back to Frenchburg. Hope everybody enjoyed this. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Love to hear from you. Hope everybody's enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.